You know that feeling when you're walking down like a set of stairs or you're taking a step off of a ledge and there's an inch or two of extra airspace? So, like, your foot's in the air just a little bit longer and you weren't expecting it, and your body kind of freaks out for just a millisecond. Well, I had that little sensation for a total of 2 years straight. All right. I had acute anxiety and it was not a freaking fun thing to deal with, man. It ruined everything for me. I was not sleeping, socially anxious, anxious about life in general, failing classes, doing shit at work. And overall, shit was just not very good in my life. Okay. I can get into the details of like what really got me there in a bit, but hopefully by the end of this video, I can share how I got through all of that, how y'all can probably get through it too. I've been there, man. I know what anxiety is like. Acute anxiety is soul crushing. And yeah, I just really want to share some of the shit that I've done in my life to help me out with that. So that's what this video is going to be about. Like and subscribe if you hate anxiety. No, like and subscribe, guys. My name is Charlie. I'm currently a free dive instructor in Honduras. Just living my life, having a good time out here. But wasn't always this way. I used to be an extremely anxious person. Started when I was like 17 or 18, I guess. My freshman year in college, I lived a very like sheltered life growing up, I would say. I went to school where the same school for kindergarten through 12th grade, and then graduated and went to the university that everybody always goes to. Everybody like graduates from that high school and then goes to that university. I did that, but then freshman year, I absolutely hated it. And yeah, this is gonna sound like probably cringe to y'all, but whatever. It's the story of my life. I did pledge like a frat, but then I wanted to like switch frats because, well, I was already going crazy before that, actually. Yeah, my behavior was just irrational. I was smoking way too much weed and drinking way too much. And I mean, long story short, I went from, the potential to have an extremely abundant social life to extreme social ostracization. I was very socially ostracized. And first year in college, not hanging out with anybody, like, just being stuck in my dorm room watching movies, like, this is it? This is supposed to be, like, the best 4 years of my life? Anxious as hell, let me tell you. And, like, yeah, I had, like, some friends, and I would go, like, smoke weed at the intramural fields with some people, but every time I smoked weed, it just made me even more anxious and more depressed, and, yeah, it was just not a good place for me to be. But the way that it eventually got to the point where I actually Googled, "I'm stuck in my head." I remember I was watching a movie or something, and that's what I thought. I was like, I was anxious as hell just watching the movie, and I was like, "This is crazy. I'm literally stuck in my head." So I Googled it, and I was like, "Okay, that's the sensation that I'm feeling right now. How can I get through this?" And I found a forum post, and I still have it bookmarked, but the forum shut down. Forum post of a kid who was explaining, like, basically exactly my situation, and then a few people responded, and this one guy responded with a huge wall of text, talking about the username of the guy who made the post, who was like, "My life sucks, blah, blah, blah," was like Trevor underscore sucks or something like that, and the guy's name was Trevor. And the guy who was responding to his post said, "Well, let's look at your problems and start with your username. You're saying Trevor sucks. You're saying to yourself that you suck. I mean, you obviously have to watch your language with yourself. You're setting this precedent. You're not even giving yourself a shot here with a username like that?" And he went on and on about belief systems and being present and in the moment. And he recommended two books, which is The Power of Now and Mind Powers into the 21st Century, which, The Power of Now, very famous book, just about staying present and to the moment. I need to go reread it. I've read it like dozens of times. And then Mind Power into the 21st Century was about like a programming your subconscious type of book. And it was the first time I'd been exposed to any of those, either one of those concepts, really. And from there, yeah, I read those books, picked it up, and I learned like, oh, okay, I can actually take my life energy, my life force, and I can really make an effort at creating a positive life. I can actually flip this super negative, super anxious headspace that I'm in. And with, time and practice, I can become a positive, abundant, outgoing person. It's just about my self talk and the belief systems that I have and how I keep reaffirming these negative, shitty belief systems. Like, I would go smoke weed at a party. Instead of being a chatty cat at the party, I'm now smoking weed and I'm not saying a damn word. I'm just like sitting there on the couch getting toasted, right? Or I had a friend who was so extremely negative about every fucking thing. And I would try to like live out this new type of life that I had, right? I'd be like, like look on the bright side of this situation. Fucking plans got canceled, whatever. Let's make the most of this and go over here and do these plans. And he would just be the biggest negative Nancy in the world. And at one point, I literally sold to him, like, dude, you were so difficult just to be positive around. Like, he wasn't even being authentic in his negativity. He was just being a fucking depressed doomer for the sake of being a depressed doomer. And I was trying to like actually lift us up out of that headspace. So surrounding myself with different people who, just use different language, live in a different vibration was definitely huge in actually getting me out of that. And all of this took time, this all took time. It took, gosh, a few years. I would say it took 2.5 years at least for me to really get into a headspace. That's through a lot of meditation, a lot of breath work, a lot of music really helped. But yeah, it wasn't until like 2016 when 2.5 years. So yeah, about 2 years, a little over 2 years before I was able to be in a good headspace and experience my first huge music festival where I was like, this, okay, awesome. I fucking did it. I'm no longer like an anxious person. I'm not identifying as an anxious person right now. I am doing my own fucking thing. I made this happen on my own, living my own life. And I dropped out of college that year and I started traveling, since then, I have worked on farms. I have worked in the ski industry, a ski resort. I've worked in New Orleans, my favorite city in the world. I've worked at a hostel hosting parties in Guatemala. I'm now working as a free dive instructor in Honduras. So things have been great. I mean, obviously ups and downs, but when I quit being an anxious person and actually started living a life that was in alignment with like what I wanted or what I think that thought that I wanted, didn't know exactly what I was doing, especially as a fucking 20-year-old. But, I was walking in a direction that was something true to my heart, and it sounds like corny as hell to say, but dude, do you want to like live a rad life? If you want to live like a rad, authentic, aligned life, you're gonna have to sound pretty fucking corny because cliches are cliches for a reason, and that's because they're true. So like these corny cliches that might be mentally blocking you, that's a whole can of worms right there I could go into. Don't let the idea and the whatever emotional baggage that you have surrounding the word authenticities or yeah, follow your bliss, whatever like blockage you have up around that type of stuff because it's quote cringe. That's something you have to deal with on your own because that's holding you back. You know what's cringe? Fucking being in your like 30s and being in a basement with like just playing video games, not making an effort, and like knowing that you could have lived an adventurous life, but you didn't. Knowing that you could be living an adventurous life and you're not living one. I think that a shitload of your anxieties are just going to disappear. They don't disappear, but the context of any anxiety you feel changes when you actually start living in alignment. And I think a lot of that, I mean, bro, if you're a young man and if you're not living an adventurous life, doing cool shit, I mean, I just don't know I can't relate to somebody who doesn't feel that called to adventure, who doesn't feel the urge to be like, go out there, see the world, do some cool shit. Like, fuck having a desk job or corporate job. I am so unemployable, dude. Good Lord. Hearing myself talk about this, that's crazy. I could never work a desk job. I don't know what I'm gonna do. This channel better pop off or else. Nah, I'm teasing. I'm just kidding. I'm doing really good here in Honduras as a free dive instructor. I just had a class today. That was awesome. I have another one starting soon. And that pays the bills and it gets me in nature doing breath work, teaching others how to do the same. It's pretty sick. Living here is cheap. The power does go out at least once a week, which is kind of annoying, but that keeps me off the electronics. You know what I'm saying? The social scene here is amazing. Like as soon as I got here, have a new group of friends because everybody here is on the same wavelength too. Everybody wants to meet new people. It's like a diving island, so everybody wants to meet around this cool shared interest and love for the ocean. And most people here are in their 20s and 30s, so it's a cool party too. You know what I'm saying? I think that you need to make an effort, sit down and think like, what's a creative, cool place, cool way to live that I can envision now? And there's a first step to get there, man. I would recommend going volunteering in hostels. Go travel somewhere. Shit's not too expensive. Don't fucking come to me with that. I had two Italian friends living off $500 a month traveling. The brokest motherfuckers I know are traveling, not on mom and dad's credit card. These are actually broke ass people, all right? And they still do it because the call to adventure is worth a lot more than the fucking dollars in the bank account, okay? Sell your car, sell all your shit. I've talked about this before. I have sold 2 or 3 cars now just to fund my traveling. Okay, I've sold I let all of the shit that I own is in a backpack. Like I sell all my clothes on eBay. I sell all my shit on like Facebook Marketplace. I mean, if I see something on Facebook Marketplace, then I'm like, I could flip that for $100. Boom, go flip it for $100. Put it in the bank. Back in the day, I was like, if I had 2 free hours, I was on DoorDash, bro. I was working as a fucking Amazon like grocery delivery driver at one point. That actually paid really well. But I mean, those jobs aren't sick, but you do what you got to do to get money to get out, so that way you can get a job. Like you can be a bartender in some random country. These are things that you can do. I'm ranting and rambling right now, not providing super specific insights, but that's not the point. The point is anxieties will dissipate when you start living in alignment with yourself. The way that you do that if you're a young man is you live some form of adventure out by yourself. You should solo travel somewhere you've never traveled before with like a goal in mind of, okay, I'm going to learn to surf. I'm going to learn free diving. I'm going to do a bunch of scuba diving. I'm going to go fucking mountain biking in Peru. Something like that. Do some cool fucking shit that cool fucking people do that's really calling you, that's in alignment with you. Do that shit and tell me it doesn't change your life. All right, I'm going to end it there, boys. Peace.